playing dress up and modeling their hair on the worst fucking executioner out of the whole fucking squad. Yes, we're going against that freaking TAI motherfucker, and I felt, you know, real emotional for this first part of this episode. He's like, Chaos, he's dipping into the lava, saying, you know, last hope, and saying, you know, you believe what, you know, what, and he's like just going in, like, really sad, and then it shows, like, oh, the clock horologium is, like, he's the one that saved him, and it's like, yeah, an issue that Fairy Tail's had pretty much for a long while, that, you know, all these deaths and all that, fake deaths, and it was just like, yeah, that kind of ruined Arcadios' like brilliant moment, but it was kind of really good. And then Loki arriving, bringing the keys back for folks like Yukino and Lucy as well. And one of the things that I noticed in this episode as well, that there was a fucking ton of filler. I don't even remember the Natsu fight. I'm pretty sure everything in that Natsu fight, for the most part, was pretty much just filler. Not to mention the whole stuff with Lucy versus the TAI. This is like the only ones that they focus on. I know with the Wendy one as well. The Wendy one was like, that one's got a lot more filler in it as well. That's like one of the biggest issues in this thing. Like, well, yeah, in the anime, they're making the executioners, because they're making them more of a threat than what they were in the manga. But definitely, like, in this episode, there's like, I will give it to that they're actually making them look more of a threat, but still, in the end of the day, it's the fucking executioners. I mean, I like my Cosmos, but I like them for, like, her for the wrong reasons. It's just like, there was just a lot of filler throughout this episode that was just really disappointing. And that's sad to see when we had, like, a really just great chapter of Fairy Tail recently this week. It was just focusing on Natsu's group as well again this week. Seeing, you know, like, with, also, well, the only bit we saw in the tournament was, like, Makarov, like, and his group saying, like, trying to contact Natsu and the rest of them. The rest was literally a Lucy and Yukino fight versus, you know, freaking TAI motherfucker. And it was, like, heavily fan service in that part. Also, as well, like, Lucy, like, freaking getting Virgo in there, getting Loki. Loki was going in. Loki was trying to fuck him up. Like, and not to mention as well, you know, bands like gravity shit with, like, Libra and then Peacegaze as well, which the best part of the episode was the Peacegaze true form part, since they actually are a mother and son combo, and, you know, that looks like some freaking Poseidon Saint Seiya stuff, you know, with how they looked, and they looked absolutely sick, and they were fucking owning them. It just looked absolutely beautiful as well, which was another good thing about this episode, that the animation in this episode was really good. I mean, I saw some derpy faces here and there, but for the most part, the entire episode was really solid, and I really did enjoy it, and I think, yeah, the best part was the Peacegaze true form going on. And it seems like at the end of this episode, since, like, Lucy summons Aquarius, that this fight is pretty much concluded at the end of this episode, but it's like a lot of filler for a very derpy, like, fucking fight, and they're trying to, like, build him and say, oh, get very angry, TAI. It's like, stop, we don't give a fuck, you just got destroyed by Peacegaze's true form, and it just made no sense. Like, these guys' weakness is water. Get the fucking fish. That bit, I was like, what the fuck? Most part of this episode, this was pretty poorly for what the content that we got in this episode. Animation stuff looks solid, and then, you know, lots of fight good bits of, like, here and there and all that, and also the Arcadia stuff was a little bit annoying. So for the most part, I'm just going to give this one a 4 out of 10. It was a disappointing episode in the end of the day. I didn't really personally like it that much from, like, what other stuff we've been getting, but hopefully as well they won't drag this up too long. It already feels like it's been going on a while now, this like, this whole execution of fights, and it's just like, end this shit already, end it. Like, just end them in one, like, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. But that's all for me. I want to thank you for watching as always. Remember, I'll see you guys